What's up, you guys? Sean Ross Sapp, Fightful.com. Here with a name you know, and you're going to get to know him a lot more. He's been all over MLW the last few years, and he faces Daivari on March 31st at MLW's Never Say Never. We have a fellow Kentuckian on the air. We got Myron Reed. How you doing, man?
Hey, man. Bro, thanks for having me, man. This is lit.
I always get so excited to see Kentucky natives doing well in wrestling because for a while, like when I was younger, there wasn't a lot at all. We had Hillbilly Jim. That was about it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, man.
now we got Myron Reed and Chuck Taylor out there.
Yeah. I think Ricochet too, man.
Yeah, Ricochet.
Yeah. Shit. I mean, it's really not a lot. Like, I mean, now, yeah. Like, you get Larry. He's killing it.
Yeah.
Impact. There's a lot more people than there was, but
And
for sure.
Larry D's integral to like the indie scene out here too. Like there isn't much of one outside of OVW in Kentucky without Larry. So I'm super glad to see you guys killing it everywhere you go, and you're killing it in MLW right now. I mentioned you got Daivari coming up, man. He showed back up after that WWE run, and that guy is yoked.
Dude, yoked. And I'm like, I don't like you, bro, but what the hell are you eating?
So we've seen a lot of things change over the past year, especially, and you've been with MLW well before that. How did the pandemic kind of affect you in that regard? Because I know that MLW took some time off too.
Yeah, for us, it just made everybody appreciate things more. Everybody just wanted to work harder, especially, you take wrestling for granted until you can't do it for 7 months, and you're like, you know what, it's all I want to fucking do right now.
Yeah. So
really do in it.
Were you sidelined for that full duration? Like you didn't wrestle at all for about 7 months, or did you take bookings like here and there?
For me, the first like 2-3 months, like nobody was running shows, so like kind of had to. After that, like most people did take the time off, but like as soon as I could get back out there, I was like, so yeah, I was definitely taking bookings. But I was being safe about it. I was being safe, taking falling for stuff. But like I got to get back out there, man. That's what I love to do. It's just I don't know what the hell I am without wrestling.
Well, I know MLW took it really seriously too. I had people messaging me. They're like, "Hey, our protocols are really good here. They got like somebody there to confer with information and a lot of testing." And I heard that basically you all do what you do, and you go back and you wait until the next time you're needed on the air. What did that say to you that they took all those measures? Because quite frankly, there are a lot of other companies that did not take the measures that MLW did during that period.
No, man, MLW is dope. I like every time we've came in, the last time it hasn't been many times since COVID. Last time we came in, you had to have a like negative COVID test going there. Everything was like super safe, like no fans, of course, blah blah blah. Then afterwards, like the last day, everyone had to get a COVID test. Like so, like they're definitely like very serious about COVID, and I'm glad they are because people got kids and shit at home, So.
Yeah, and I mean that speaks an awful lot of how they could have gotten away with not doing it because so many other companies weren't either.
Easily too.
Yeah. So I mentioned you got Daivari coming up, but you've been with MLW for quite a while. I mean, you've really like solidified yourself there, and as we've seen, that is a big highlight. Like people in MLW have done some really great things. How did that conversation first happen? How were you first approached to come into MLW all those years back?
For me, I was living in Ohio, and I was living with like Trey Miguel, Zachary Wentz, at one point Desmond Xavier. All those guys were getting signed, and I was like, man, I'm trying to get signed. So I started hitting promotion, and MLW, like it took a little while, but MLW got back to me, and they were like, oh man, we've seen your stuff, and we're fans of your work. And then pretty much from there, like the rest of history, we figured out a contract, and that's how that went. I was nervous about signing the contract at first until like people were like, it's non-exclusive, blah blah blah. You still wrestle on the indies, because I thought I wasn't gonna be able to wrestle on the indies. I was like, oh no, about this.
How important is that ability, even through what we're going through right now, is that to be able to do that? Because, I mean, even though they're like MLW, anybody can watch it. They make their product very, very easy to find on a host of different platforms. Still, I mean, getting those reps outside of those tapings, that's got to be important to you, right?
Yeah, definitely, because I feel like, MLW since the pandemic hasn't ran a lot. So, you got to get your reps in somehow. And you got to still, we're still wrestlers at the end of the day. And outside of just MLW, we are our own brand. We got to continue to push it regardless.
And you're young now. I mean, you're what, 23 or 24?
24, yeah.
24 years old. So when you got there, you were like, what, maybe 21?
Yeah, 21. I was like starstruck. Like, they had former WWE guys there and stuff like that. Like, guys I've grown up watching and shit. And I was just like, bro, what did I get myself into? But, with confidence, everything changes. So,
Did any of them go out of their way to help you out when you were there, or did you go out of your way to like seek out any help in that regard? Because I mean, there's a wealth of knowledge in an MLW locker room at any given time, plenty of which you have of your own. I mean, you're very accomplished and were by then even.
yeah, for me, like, as far as back then, like, I'm gonna be honest with you, when I first started with MLW, like, I wasn't really worried about promos, man. I was more so just like having the best matches I could possibly have. So, like, yes, after my matches, I would go up to the guys and ask them, like, what'd you think? Like, what do I need to work on? But as far as just in general, like, I wish I would have asked more questions. And like, I pretty much all the stuff, like, I'm just pretty much had to figure that out on my own. Like, it's kind of dumb for doing that, but I mean, I wasn't really thinking straight. Like, I didn't really know what real like hard work and motivation was like. I mean, I knew what like me grinding and like moving to Ohio and stuff just didn't really like strike in my head as like, um, it's big because not a lot of people live out it or move out of their, hometown. So like for me, it's just like, yeah, now I'm seeing.
Did the independent scene elsewhere encourage you to do that? Because as we mentioned, there's not a big independent scene in like Kentucky, and there's a lot of different political reasons for that we can get into, like licensing and all that stuff. But was
Nah.
that did that motivate the move?
Um, for me, like, yeah, it definitely did. I felt like everyone, I don't know, I feel like people that wrestle, there's a lot of like people in Kentucky and stuff like that are good wrestlers, but like they didn't take the time to like really explore that. And I was just like, I want to be different.
Yeah.
Like, I want to be bigger than just Kentucky, and I want to be different. So I'm gonna have to do something that, no one else really is doing right now. Like, no one's moving out of their home state, you know what I mean, to go somewhere else. Not a lot of people are, you know what I mean? So just taking advantage of opportunities.
And anybody who's wrestled in Kentucky or trained in Kentucky can tell you. I mean, you got to jump through hoops a lot of times to do
Yeah.
stuff. Like you got to get licensed before you take a bump when you train, and then as soon as you get licensed, like you have the same rights as Randy Orton. Like it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me.
Yeah.
It's like paying to get your driver's license, but not having to go through a driver's test or anything.
It's
It's
crazy.
it's a clear like money grab to me. But MLW, I mean, they've got a lot of confidence in you. You're all over that show all the time, and Injustice has been a big part of that too. And Jordan Oliver, he beefed up over the pandemic. My
Oh,
God.
man. I make fun of him, bro. And I'm like, a lot of times I tell him, like, it's just he's just growing into his man body, dude. He's like,
Yeah.
he gets so mad. But like, I feel like, yeah, he's definitely gotten bigger, man. He wants it, bro. We want it bad. Like, and you can just tell, like, that's why I like working with Jordan. Like, because when I'm down on myself or when he's down on himself, like, it's literally like we use the other guy to like for motivation, and it's perfect.
And I think MLW's done a really good job of establishing like a tag team division there between Los Parks and Violence is Forever and Injustice. It's like there are teams that I'm like, I got to tune in and watch these guys.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely.
How has that been much of an adjustment for you, working more of a tag team style? I mean, I know obviously when you're working the independents, you're going to get plenty of tag team action there, but I mean, really
Yeah.
making your mark doing that with Jordan now.
Yeah, like honestly, like from the time I started, I was always like put in the tag team. Like I've always been in tag teams, like my whole wrestling career. So like as far as like in ring teaming, like not really that hard. Like I felt like that was like super easy to do, especially because me and Jordan know each other from like backyard wrestling. So like we were already friends before like any of the MLW stuff. So it was pretty easy for us to like connect.
And so often, like we'll see a team like Injustice put together. It'll last 6-7 months, and they'll get split up. But I mean, you guys have been going strong for quite a while now.
Yo, I think it was 2019
Yeah.
or before. It's definitely been. I'm trying to think. It was like probably
I,
the
I
very.
I remember seeing the match that had Airwolf and Gringo Loco in it, and I think it was the first time I saw you all team, and that would have
Yeah,
been summer 2019.
out with it was coming out with me like Kings of Coliseum like 2019. Not
Yeah,
Ray. Yeah. So yeah, it's been 2 years.
that's fantastic too, and I mean, we see Violence is Forever doing really great things too. I mean, MLW has put a concentrated effort on the tag team division. And that's not something you always see outside the auspices of ROH. Even in ROH, they had trouble for a really long time. So,
Yeah, I feel like some shows are just like really long, man. Like I
yeah,
know want to give people a lot of wrestling, and some people like myself, I love wrestling. So like I can watch it all day, but like the issue with that is like people's attention span is like horrible compared to like you know what I mean what it was like an hour is perfect. Like hour 4 matches, you want to see people you didn't see on that episode. You know, like they're spreading out when people are wrestling, and it makes everything bigger.
well, I mentioned how you came into MLW. Was that your first experience working TV? Had you ever done TV spots before that?
OVW.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, when I first started, I did some OVW stuff, and I'm pretty sure that was it. But a lot of like when I was training, like they were like super huge on like TV, on time, TV, cameras, and shit like that. So like I felt like I've had the training forever.
So, I mean, did you feel like you were prepared when you came into MLW? Was it second nature? Were there things that you were picking up along the way? How did that work out?
In ring, yes, I felt like I was, but like I still learned a lot. You know how you
Sure.
feel like, but you like I'm now like looking back, I was like, no, I wasn't ready then. You know.
So how different was working TV from OVW to MLW? I know obviously MLW has some advanced production values and like even like the graphics department. They have some of the best graphics I've ever seen. But that's not
Yeah.
really something that affects you guys when you're doing stuff as much as the tapings do necessarily. Were there any big leaps that you had to make there?
Honestly, at first when I was at OVW, like I just did matches. Like I never really I don't think I've ever done a promo at OVW. So going in, I was just more focused on having great matches as opposed to like good character and just getting really good at because promos sell fights. Like people don't
Yeah.
you know promos people want to see your shit. So like um then you don't have to kill yourself in the ring to accomplish that. And I felt like then like I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna have great matches. Like Ricochet like goes out there and he has fucking awesome matches and doesn't have to ever really fucking say shit. Like, you
Yeah.
know, like thinking like I can do that. Like but honestly, bro, like promos are like everything. It just adds that to it. Like if you're super good in the ring and like you're super good on the mic, they're like, fuck off. Like, yeah. Like it's perfect. You literally hit every point. Like, and then at that point, it's like making sure your body like looks great. Like, you know what I mean? You got to make sure you're in good shape. But,
You had a really good MLW middleweight title run, which I loved. And one of the things that I love, I don't know how many people picked up on this. You were facing people from all over the world, from Mexico, from Japan, from Canada, even from the States, Brian Pillman Jr., but you were facing like a plethora of different people. And that run was interrupted a lot because of the pandemic. Do
Yeah.
you know of any plans that maybe didn't come to fruition because of the pandemic? Was there anybody like that was on the docket, on the slate that you were excited to wrestle that maybe you didn't get to?
I'm pretty sure ACH was one of the guys. Like
Oh,
I've wrestled like that would have been awesome. Like as far as like feud goes for it, because once like right before the pandemic, I believe Kodo and Jordan did something with King Mo and
yeah.
ACH. Like man, I feel like that's gonna be something soon, but like pandemic was like right around the corner.
I love that. It was like 1 month you're facing Lindemann, 1 week it's Drago, 1 week it's, or 1 month rather, it's like Teddy Hart, then Laredo Kid, who we see popping up on AEW now and getting
Yeah.
wins on AEW. Like I thought that was just so cool. It was like almost like a world tour of talent for that middleweight title, and I felt like it made that middleweight title even more important while you were holding it.
Yeah, definitely. Because especially, I mean, most guys, like most companies, you see like someone have a title run. It's just guys within the company. They're bringing, like you said, they're just bringing everybody in, and it creates like a bigger match feel. I feel like most times.
And I had people at the MLW tapings that are like, "Oh, you want to watch Lio Rush and Myron Reed? You want to see that match?" So when I think they sent us a screener or something, I was so excited for it. I mean, what was that like? He's a guy that's been all over the world as well, and ended up dropping the title. But how did that feel for you? I mean, you had that title for over a year since 2019, and it came to a bit of an end there.
Honestly, man, for me, I don't know. Like you could say I was champ for. I mean, I'm gonna say it too because I was champ for however many days, but like for me, like a lot of those days don't count.
Sure.
Like, for me, it doesn't. Like I was at home with the belt. Like you know what I mean? Like I'm
Yeah.
at home. Like I'm not defending it. Um, yeah. So like that experience, it was definitely I got to learn how to like it that the belt helped me with like confidence like tremendously, and I got to like learn a lot as champion, like just how to like structure and have like championship style matches. You know what I mean? Because I'll get to the back, they're like like that, like this, like they're great match, but this. I love that shit. Like I love learning. You know what I mean? Getting better.
Reminder, guys, March 31st, 2021, MLW's Never Say Never. As we wrap up, I like to put some positivity into the world. I'm sure you've
Okay.
seen shoot interview clips where it says this person shoots hard on somebody else. We like to shoot softly. So I'm going to ask you to say some nice things. I'm going to give you names of people that I know you've worked with in the past. And even if they're a complete asshole, I want you to say something nice about them if possible. We'll start with one of my favorite in-ring wrestlers, Jonathan Gresham.
He's dope. He's dope. He's one of bro. He's definitely one of a kind.
We've got the man that I just mentioned, Lio Rush.
Uh, mm,
Nothing good to say about Lio Rush. I'm going to put, that's my headline.
likely.
uh, what about AR Fox?
um, Amazing, bro. Like he's a leader. He's a leader, and he's one of the best in the freaking world.
I saw that you worked him forever ago. Super crazy.
Yeah. Hold on. I've never worked super crazy.
It said you did. I think on maybe one of your.
Even got canceled. This was
Oh,
yeah, supposed to be Mania before COVID.
let me see where it was. It says House of Hardcore. I think it was with
Let's see.
Ace Romero, Clayton Gaines, and Trey Miguel.
Holy shit! Yes, that's like 17. Oh fuck, I forgot about that. No, yeah, Super Crazy's dope, man. He's awesome. He's awesome. He's good.
You mentioned Trey Miguel earlier. How about Trey Miguel?
Hey man, that's my brother. That's my brother.
He's a good dude. He's a good
Definitely.
dude. I like him. A
Definitely.
guy who I accidentally bumped shoulders with about 10 times backstage once, Jake something. He's fucking huge.
Yeah, he is. But he's like one of the sweetest, huge guys I've ever met in my life.
Really is. Really is. A really nice dude. And I'll throw one out there. How about How about Daivari, who you face at MLW Never Say Never?
Man, if I can end the interview right now, man, you done got two on already, Lio and Daivari.
Man.
I don't know. He's yoked. Like he's yoked.
Yeah.
He's yoked.
Do you like Leo's music at least?
Dude, I do.
It's
like
good.
him. I don't like him, but
Yeah.
I like his music.
That I Wonder song is really good. I thought it was really, really great.
Man, I haven't heard that, but I've like, I can't. I'll be singing his theme song, and I'll be like, why? And he made his theme song like it. I like it.
Yeah,
I like that. I get like old WWF like vibes, like
yeah.
You know what I mean? Just the way the song goes. So yeah. I don't know.
Well, guys, check out MLW Never Say Never, March 31st. Let me tell you, there is infinite numbers of ways to catch this between DAZN and BN Sports and YouTube. There's no excuse to not watch an MLW show. It is available on platforms everywhere. Myron, tell the people where they can find you before we go.
Twitter, it's The Bad Reed. Follow me on there. Instagram, it's Reed's World. And Facebook, Myron Reed. Same thing on YouTube. I'm like always on YouTube with content and stuff like that. And then musically, Kid Reed on all platforms, Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, find it anywhere.
Guys, check it out. One of the shining stars in MLW, Myron Reed. I want to thank you so much, man.
Hey, man, thanks for having me.
Until next time, guys, we're out.